talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
I'm talking to you.
Hi everyone, and if you're just joining me, welcome to my new season's podcast, in which I intend to focus on the subject of identity. Yes, identity. And why? We don't know who we are. There is this sense of loss and feeling lost. But there is an awakening, and I believe that's brought on by the worldwide lockdown, in which we are questioning the meaning of life. An evolution of our consciousness is taking place, in which we just want to be happy. We want to be free to be our authentic self, whatever that is, and be fulfilled. For far too long, humanity has been trying to fill this void with religion and work and chasing money and power and fame. And those who've achieved that sort of success have reported that it's not what they thought it would be. And even if they didn't say it, we can see the damage it's done to their lives. But we still want to find out for ourselves anyway. I mean, what's the alternative? We want to be successful. We were born to be successful. I believe that identity comes before purpose. Yes, I've said that much loved, overused P word. Purpose. You know, we hear the questions, have you found your purpose? Or have you found your calling? My question is, if we wake up every day trying to find purpose, what are we doing every day? Because we only have today. And if all we're doing is trying to find purpose, then what are we doing? If that makes sense. I believe that every day we are in purpose, or on purpose, based on who we are. If you don't know who you are, you can't do what you should do, right? So we must answer the question of identity. I mean, what's a person's identity? Who am I? How can I be identified? Am I who I say I am? Why am I even here? Where does this all end? I have the answer to these questions, and I look forward to us going on this journey of self-discovery. So, for the past 3 weeks, since I resumed my podcast, inspired by the death of Queen Elizabeth II, I have been talking about kings, kingdoms, authority, splendor, majesty, citizenship, inheritance, you know, the things that's associated with kings and kingdoms. I wanted to now move on to definitions, get into the nitty-gritty of identity. But a thought came to me that I should watch this film. It's called The Prince and the Pauper. Now, I watched that film years ago, and I knew that my talk about kingdoms and kinship was not over. In this day and age, it was not difficult to locate this film on YouTube. I just love the times I'm living in. Access to facts and knowledge is literally at our fingertips. But they say, to whom much is given, much is required, right? Anyway, I really enjoyed the film. I even cried. The film is based on a book written by Mark Twain. It's about 2 boys born at the same time. One is a prince, an heir to the throne, and the other is born a pauper. At 12 years old, their paths crossed, in which the prince invited the pauper into the palace. They looked in the mirror and they realized that they looked and even sounded alike. So, yes, you most probably guessed it. They swapped clothes and the prince decided to go out for the day as a commoner into the streets. He wanted to experience what it was like outside the castle grounds. So he ordered a lavish banquet to his room for the pauper and told him that he'll soon be back. But on his return, he was locked out of the palace grounds and he was rushed off by the guards. There was no convincing anyone dressed as he was that he was the prince. It's so interesting. In my next podcast, I want to look at the consequences of this switch of identity. My ministry really is for young black boys between the age of 10 and 17. And when I asked, the Lord, why me? He said, when you speak, they will hear you. So I'm hoping that as I push out my podcast, it will not only help them, but others, including myself. So, share my podcast with at least 3 young hearts and young minds. Be blessed.